Welcome to OOO, an out of ordinary podcast where we dig deep into case studies and the nitty gritty of Web3 marketing. You'll find here all the amazing people that are building Web3, so stick to us as we address their marketing secrets and learn how to build amazing products and brands.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex, your fellow Web3 marketer and the host of Out of Ordinary podcast. This is episode 73, and as you know, it's a brand new season where we're going to talk more about product and marketing, bringing more CMOs and founders to share how they make things work, hot takes, and the bets they're making with their strategies. So if you also want to get involved, such as sponsor, hire, grow the community, or come on the pod, just DM me. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest. Today, we're joined by Angie because, as she advised, I should not even try to pronounce her last name. Angie is a Web3 marketer with 7+ years of experience across community, growth, PR, content, and ecosystem marketing. She worked at Binance for 2 years and later led marketing for several crypto startups. As head of marketing at Fhenix, she helped grow the project from top 50 to top 5 on Kaito, pre-TGE, and drove 5 million plus organic impressions around key campaigns. Hi Angie, how are you?
Hi Alex, nice to see you again. I'm good. How are you?
Nice to see you again too, and super happy to have this chat with you. I know there has been a lot going on with Fhenix lately, and I think it's going to be a lot of things that we're going to unfold this episode. And to kind of kick it off for people that don't know you, how did you end up working in privacy?
Oh, honestly, by accident. Fhenix is my second company that I work for that is like privacy focused. So a few years ago, I just had a baby and I was like thinking, what should I do with my career next? And I was like kind of looking for a job. Obviously, it was supposed to be marketing, but marketing what, you know? And a friend of mine said that one privacy project is looking for a head of marketing. We chatted, and like next day I started working there. And I think it really was by accident, but I stayed in the privacy field by choice. Because when figuring out how to actually communicate it to the right audience, how to promote it, how to make people care, I started enjoying it myself, and I realized that privacy is crucial.
For the Web3 space, and especially with a lot of the things that are happening right now, I think privacy is crucial. And for those that are listening to us right now and they don't know much about Fhenix, can you give us a TLDR about what does Fhenix do?
Sure. The simplest explanation for me is Fhenix lets smart contracts work with encrypted data. Today, if something is on chain, it's almost always public. And we at Fhenix think that future is different. Applications that stay verifiable but do not force you to expose your balances, your trades, your strategies, or your whole financial life to the entire internet. I believe that's the future, and that's what we're building towards.
One of the things that you mentioned to me, like one of the first times we met, you told me that like privacy is the new luxury. And this is something like I don't think it clicked so much with me back then, but I think it clicks with me a lot more as I feel it a bit closer to my heart, let's say. What's the flip you're trying to pull off when framing, and is it working?
I think that's actually one of the directions that flopped for me. We tested this privacy as the new luxury for a very short period of time last year. And at first, to me, it sounded cool. It sounded like something that people will relate to. But then we realized that we actually don't want people to feel like it's something they can't reach, that it's something like forbidden fruit for the niche audience, for elites, etc., etc. We want it to feel like privacy is for everyone. And I think from the strategy, from the communication, marketing standpoints, this like messaging actually works better. We have lots of ideas. Not everything works out, but I think it's still a good way to be, checking on the sentiment, like talking to lots of people, seeing what resonates, what doesn't. And at some point you will get there. You will see, oh, actually that's exactly what everyone wants, and let's double down on that positioning. So that's what we did. We switched to privacy is for everyone, FHE everywhere, and now we actually see people become curious around that.
But do you think privacy is still the new luxury, even if the concept didn't work out?
Yeah, I think it's still a luxury. You need to figure out the whole workflow in order to have privacy in Web3 today, and that shouldn't be the case. I don't think we've done a good job so far, and I think when it comes to Ethereum, I feel like privacy should have been on the roadmap from the very beginning. And I guess now, as a user, as an Ethereum, fan still of today, I do not care that much about decentralization as privacy. I think we solved lots of problems that existed before, and now we need to actually join forces and provide like the best privacy experience to all the DeFi users.
You said something which I think is very important, and that is the fact that like the Ethereum community as a whole spoke so much about or is going so much for like dev related stuff, as like that's where a lot of the resources have been put. What do you think is being built right now under the privacy umbrella, which I think is very important to note? Is it still like more like infra and dev tooling, or are you seeing a real shift towards more like regular people touching it, or like more consumer apps?
Yeah, I think to answer that, we actually need to have a little bit of a retrospective, right? So 2 years ago, privacy was mostly cryptographers talking to other cryptographers and building some stuff that like average users did not understand and were unable to use. Today, we're finally seeing products. I think one of the most interesting use cases today is private AI, because like obviously AI is pumping, it's evolving so fast. We are actually witnessing this real like AI revolution today with Claude and ChatGPT shipping and the speed of light, and like competing who's gonna ship a better product tomorrow. I think private AI is something that will emerge soon as a category as well. And I see lots of other use cases like confidential stablecoins, confidential consumer apps, as you said. We at Fhenix also built a bunch of fun apps that might be not like, the first thing that you would think when it comes to privacy, but still, I'm convinced that any D app that is being built today, it has to have this like privacy logic in it in order to be able to compete with other consumer apps, just because the bar today is so low, right, on the apps. Like you can literally give a prompt to Claude and you will have a ready to go app within like a few minutes. So in order to compete, you need to provide something better, something more than that to the end user. And I think privacy is going to be something that people appreciate.
Do you think people are really into it right now? Like, do you think like it's becoming a narrative that is getting more and more important right now?
I think it goes in waves, kind of. So we saw it like pumping hard last year. Then we saw like AI being a hot topic, so privacy was like still in the game, but probably like less people paid attention to it. Now I see with all the new laws that are being discussed or enforced in the EU, people start thinking about it even more. So I think there is no like exponential growth on the privacy side as a trend, but I think it's something that people do not appreciate until they lose it, and it's something that will be, trending from time to time until we realize that it's inevitable. We need to make sure that every user can, opt in any app they are using and switch to private mode or go back to public mode whenever they want. It's not something that governments should, force people to stop using. I don't think that's the future we're all willing to see. I think we need to be like more proactively demanding privacy in all apps that we're using on a daily.
Do you feel like or do you see a lot more hype, let's say, around like certain niches within the privacy spectrum, let's say, that they're pumping right now?
Yeah, I don't even need to think about it. It's everything payments, like confidential stable coins, confidential payroll, confidential contracts between companies, enterprises, entrepreneurs, like literally any legal entities. So everyone's talking about stable coins becoming the internet's payment rails. I do not think that can happen without privacy. Because if you are an institution and you know that everything that's on chain, it stays on chain and it stays public all the time, you are probably gonna, have lots of concerns whether to move like all your payments, contracts, payroll, every like strategy or whatever like you're using on a daily, move it to on-chain. I think it's not gonna happen unless we have different ways to preserve our privacy, but still use blockchains, DeFi, be able to trade or invest in crypto without giving up our, privacy for the sake of it.
I think like you mentioned something very important. I think my next question connects super well with this, especially in the light of like what happened with this Privacy Act in the EU a couple of days ago. One of the biggest misconceptions I feel like people have about being private, what actually being private means on chain. Would you argue privacy on chain is more private than GDPR?
I love it. I think these are different problems. It's not fair to say, oh, blockchain privacy is more private or not. GDPR regulates companies. Cryptography removes like trust from the equation altogether. I'd rather not have my data exposed than hope somebody deletes it later, I think we're trying to solve the problem from the end while actually solving it from the very beginning. And that's why, as a user, again, I would be more willing to have an opportunity to share or not share, disclose or not disclose some specific data. Let's say I want to share with some like legal entity the contracts that I just signed, and I am doing like payments within that contract in crypto, and I need to like let the legal entity verify that the contract is legit, the payment went through, but I don't want everyone to see that on chain, right? So for that, we at Phenix came up with something called selective disclosure, where you have like a full ownership over your data and you only reveal the things you're like, comfortable revealing, and with those entities or people that you want, not with everyone on chain.
Privacy coins actually got like was one of the had one of their best years in 2025, so not so long ago though. Do you think that market is finally agreeing with your thesis, or do you think it's a speculative rotation that will actually go away?
Um, I might share an unpopular opinion here, but I don't think people suddenly woke up passionate about privacy coins. I don't think that's what happened with Zcash, etc. I think people are waking up to privacy becoming infrastructure, and that's why we see more and more privacy builders emerge every day. And then there is a lot of I don't want to say engagement farming, but probably a lot of speculation from I'd say 5 to 10 people we all see on the timelines, right? Who have their bags and they are willing to pump them from time to time, or sometimes they need to, dump the price to get more Zcash or Tornado Cash or something else, And we all, like, who've been in the crypto space for a while, we definitely can connect the dots and see basically who's moving the charts, who's pumping the charts, right? So I think we need to distinguish between actual privacy infra and privacy coins that will always have like pumps and dumps once someone shares a hot take or not so hot take. So I think these are very different, still like privacy industries we're working in, but very different approaches. And for me personally, the privacy infra is something that is more long term. I don't think Zcash, Tornado Cash, or like any other private L1 or L2 is the ultimate way. I think it was something great back at the times, and I would probably hold some of those tokens just, as part of my portfolio. I do not think that's the future of crypto privacy still.
What's your opinion on this like so-called like wrench attacks when real people are targeted in their life because of their wallets, because their wallets are traceable? Does that change how you pitch privacy versus the compliance ideology angle?
Yeah, for sure. I think this one makes privacy incredibly tangible. So for years we talked about surveillance. Now we're talking about physical safety, right? We all know France is leading as a country in terms of crypto kidnapping and robberies, and we all heard those stories, or we know someone from the crypto community who got robbed during the ETC or something else. So I think we all kind of are aware of that problem, and not so many people are still aware that if your wallet shows, publicly shows, let's say 8 figures, that's no longer an online problem. That's a real world security problem. And privacy is not just about protecting your assets. Sometimes it's literally protecting yourself. So I think the understanding of the actual root of the problem is super, super important, and we need to talk about that more. Because when I ask my crypto friends, guys, do you know that whenever you're traveling and you're paying with crypto for conference tickets or literally anything, and then you also tweet about it, I had so much fun paying with just crypto in Argentina during DevConnect, you become a target instantly. And not too many people understand that, unfortunately.
Not yet. I think everybody just wants to talk about how easy it is to pay with crypto finally, and then it's maybe just becoming a pretty big security issue at the same time, which I think it's hard to compile all this information. I just got into this crypto thing and it's really cool, or I'm getting threatened right now, especially in countries where maybe you become a target like a lot faster and a lot easier than in other parts of the world, let's say. So like I won't give names. But what are the other things that I wanted to ask you, kind of like on the same topic, is the fact that like there's a new tax reporting frameworks, and they're now live across like dozen of countries, and people are calling it the end of crypto privacy in Europe. Does that make privacy tech harder to market? Or is that the fear, or is that fear actually the best top of funnel right now? I feel like it's a very tricky but marketing kind of question at the same time.
Honestly, I wasn't even a bit scared when I saw that on the news, because I think it actually helps us in a way, and lots of people and entities and governments will soon understand that compliance and privacy are not actually enemies. Um, Let me give you like two examples. One example is institutions. They don't want to hide. They just want to have an opportunity to preserve the data that is crucial for their strategy, for their business, for their income, revenue, etc., etc. So another example is like retail crowd. Again, if we talk about average users who are not criminals, they just literally want to use DeFi on a daily without exposing their whole life on chain. Is it too much to ask? No, I think we have that in, let's say, with neobanks, right? You can do whatever you want. You can manage your finance. You can even like share access with your relatives now with in lots of countries. You can like have average people like give you advice on your like financial strategy, etc., etc. But still, your finance is only your business. You do not share everything with everyone, right? And that's gonna be the case in crypto very soon, I hope. But for now, lots of concerns and like misconceptions around privacy is that if we give it to people, to institutions, etc., it will be used in a bad way. And that's where FHE is actually so cool, and that's like one of the great use cases for FHE in my opinion, just because of this opportunity to selectively disclose some parts of data with those like entities that need that data from you, but still you preserve your privacy overall. So I think these laws and changes will make people care more about privacy, because once they see it on the news every day, they will at least start thinking about it. And B, there will be more actually useful products built that will enable people to be compliant but also maintain their privacy. So I think it's actually for the good.
I mean, right now it's still, you don't really have much options, right? Just gonna stay on the topic because I feel like it's very important for a lot of us living in Europe, especially. I'm not so sure like how things are in other parts of the world, but especially in Europe, like it just feels like I don't know. Everybody was talking about surveillance and stuff, and like in China, for example, and right now it's for like a lot of us here, like we just feel like, especially like working in crypto, we just feel like we need to give like all our info, and that's not, we can't really keep our lives private anymore. Like we have to share all our financial statements, especially with governments and institutions, which is not the ideal case, which is why we
Yeah.
didn't get into crypto in the first place, or like why we did.
Yeah, and I think it requires lots of proactiveness on both sides, right? Us as citizens of the said countries, so that we actually suggest other options. I'm not sure if that's like moving the needle in, let's say, France or other countries. I can talk for Ukraine. It's not part of the EU yet, but still, you have an opportunity to create a petition with like your vision of this, solution, and suggest the solution that you feel will be like the best option for all the citizens, and the government will like review it. So I think we should definitely not just give up on our privacy. We need to communicate as much as we can in our countries with our governments, etc. And also from the government side, they need to be open, to those proposals. I think if they are going to be super, straightforward, super biased, no, all privacy is bad. It's bad for the country. It's bad for the government. I think, we'll not have a choice. But I still hope that there's always some middle ground and perfect solution that can basically satisfy both parties. We'll see.
To kind of continue this conversation in an optimistic and happy way, I know you guys have just acquired the Sunscreen. Can you walk me through the actual thinking? Like, why did you guys do it, and why did it make sense? And what gap were you trying to fill with this acquisition? And why acquired instead of building house a similar solution?
Oh, there is a lot to unfold here. I think from a marketer's perspective, what I try to achieve here is just not position it as a regular announcement about acquisition, talk about it for 24 hours and then it fades away. My idea behind the communication, the marketing strategy, the way we announced it was that great cryptography is ultimately built by great people. And every day when I talk to my team, when I talk to our founder, Guy Ziskind, when I talk to one of our leading cryptographers, Chris Pikert, when I talked to Ravital, the founder of Sunscreen, I was truly amazed by, the level of professionalism and also their ability to explain the most complicated things, to me and other team members, literally as we are 5, and we were able to understand it, and we were able to further utilize this knowledge in our respective directions, right? Me for marketing, for socials, for PR, and then engineers when engineering the stack, etc. So I think showing this human part behind this very complex stack was super, super important for me in this announcement. And I encourage everyone to watch the interview that we made with Blockmates and our founders, Guy Ziskind and Ravital, the founder of Sunscreen, because it actually shows lots of behind the scenes of this acquisition and how it was basically done. But if you ask me why did you acquire, why you didn't just hire more people, I think it's always great to join forces, especially when it comes to the team that was building an FHE for a long time, long before other FHE teams. And I don't know, there just was an opportunity and Fhenix used it. So I think it definitely helps us to strengthen our research team, our tech stack, and move faster in terms of our roadmap.
Are you guys gonna stick with the Fhenix and Sunscreen name, or everything's gonna fall into Fhenix?
Yeah, it's Fhenix now, but we did a lot of play on words with the sunscreen. We used lots of
Pretty cool.
we used lots of sunscreen terms, like we had SPF, protect your portfolio, like shield your assets, throwing shade, etc., etc. I think we gave lots of honor to the sunscreen team because I really think it's a cool name. I really love it. And yeah, moving forward, it will be Phenix. But people loved the encrypted sunscreen so much that I feel like this is going to be our evergreen piece of swag moving forward. I think we definitely need to repeat it a few times.
I actually do have some sunscreen from last year from ETC, and I love it, and I love the swag first of all, and like then I also love the idea of it, especially like as everybody remembers like how hot it was last year. You couldn't have
Yeah.
walked without it. Um, I also know like that Trivital is coming to lead institutional research. What does that signal about who you're courting next? And does pivoting towards institutions are is it going to be a priority for you guys and kind of maybe moving away from retail?
Yeah, I think it's not gonna be like 100% pivot. It means we're doubling down on research, that's for sure. But retail and institutions are not asking for different technology, usually. They're asking for different products, and we're doing lots of PMF research in that regards. And I think we figured out one of the main products that will actually satisfy both audiences here, and it surely is going to be a top priority for Phenix moving forward. At the same time, every product still uses the same underlying infrastructure. It's our coprocessor called Coffee. We have SDK that you can like build with if you're an engineer, or you can literally vibe code with it. Just like feed it to Claude and ask it to build an encrypted app that you came up with. And I think that's not gonna change in the nearest future. So products are like equally important as institutional direction, but we're about to announce one specific product with FHE that probably is gonna, not like, I don't want to say revolutionize the space because I'm sick of that, but
The
probably is
term.
gonna, yeah, it's gonna have lots of fans, both from the institutional and retail side. We already started teasing it, but a fully fleshed campaign is gonna happen end of July, and I'm super, super excited about it because we both know with you that product market fit is super, super important. Lots of companies with amazing tech failed just because of lack of PMF. And that's why when I realized that, oh, this is actually a great product, people will love it, I I like had found some inner, peace as a marketer that I have something real to work with and market to the crowd.
Actually, this new season for like everybody listening and for you to know as well, on the Out of Ordinary podcast is about like, are you product market fit or are you doomed? Which I think is very important to talk about because
It is.
everybody was just building a bunch of stuff right now. And I was even thinking last night, like, unfortunately, I think I'm very good at like writing tweets. I'm not so good at like writing script. And like, as I was telling you, being of our conversation, Claude is not really helping me. I'm probably going to be like the first unadvocate of AI, if you ask me. But and I was thinking about like the fact that I talking about marketing right now a lot of times, not with you but in general, like and a lot of stuff that happened in Web3 is like talking about marketing that was done like 1,000 years ago. I feel like nothing sticks anymore, nothing is relevant anymore, and talking about it is like nobody cares, like literally. And it's so so interesting in a way. I don't know. And I think I wanted to
Yeah,
say
for sure.
something. I think I wanted to say something else about it, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, because we're talking about like product, and
Product,
like
yeah.
now going back to like product market fit. I think it's probably going to be a bit better discussions, and like obviously any of the the marketing resources or activities might actually make a lot more sense than like a lot of the stuff that we have seen in Web3 or crypto for the last couple of years. So let's see what's going to happen moving forward, or like in the second part of the year from September onwards, because like more conferences are coming up. Um, I have a quantum question that I will admit Claude asked me write it. So I'm going to read it to you.
Let's go.
So let's see if it does make sense. If not, like I want you to tell me if it does make sense in the way it described it. But if it doesn't make sense, then it's all good. Maybe just you can just tell me your opinion on the quantum thingy. So it says like it goes like this. There's a critique going around that quantum safe means nothing if you still need a central server or company that can be coerced into handing over data. How does Phoenix's architecture actually answer that post Sunscreen acquisition?
I think there is like two ways to approach it. When we talk about the main chain, like Ethereum, is it quantum safe as of today? No. Are they gonna make it quantum safe in the nearest future? They have the roadmap published, they say so. Is it gonna happen before the quantum computer gets so powerful that is able to break Ethereum security? We don't know. So I think lots of questions and arguments around quantum security is coming out from the data that we know today, that we have today. And it's still like, some sort of magic to figure out the right answers, just because literally no one knows. It's still not researched enough. Google might publish another paper tomorrow that will say, oh, actually, like the next powerful quantum computer is gonna attack like all the existing systems this year, and nobody can do anything about it. So I think we need to just talk about those aspects that we are able to fix or solve today. And that part is data encryption. And that's what we talk about at Phenix. If your data is encrypted, ideally with FHE, because as of today, FHE is widely considered quantum resistant. So if your data is initially encrypted, even when quantum computer comes and becomes super powerful, you should not be worried just because your data was initially encrypted with quantum safe stack. And that is kind of the thinking we have at Phenix around like all the products and privacy infrastructure that we're building. That part is already quantum safe, but it cannot be considered 100% quantum safe until Ethereum as the main chain itself also becomes quantum safe. So lots of questions around it are still so like theoretical or hypothetical or under researched that it's really hard to tell. I think we just need to hope that Ethereum and like all major chains are gonna be ready for the day Q. But what kind of like solution they will provide ultimately, I don't know. Will it be dependent on the like one specific server as you asked? I don't know. I can only say that the encryption data approach is something that makes a lot of sense, and hopefully Ethereum will take that route as well. But I think it's something that you cannot answer 100% truly today. Even if you gather 100 cryptographers in one room, they will say it's all hypothetical, But at the same time, it's super fun to be exploring and living at that time.
I mean, at the same time, I think it's going to become a necessity. I don't know if like in a week from now and like 5 years from now, I don't know. But at the same time, I think it's just a matter of like how fast Ethereum is going to pick up with this thing and it's going to implement it. I think that's probably the bottom line, let's say, when it comes to quantum computing. Let's get into a bit like some of the fun stuff, let's say, because I feel like we spoke about a lot of like serious stuff, and I actually got a lot of questions about this like last part of our conversation today. I want to ask you, what do you feel like it helped you so much or helped you as a marketer to work in privacy? What kind of skills, what kind of knowledge do you feel like you had to acquire to be able to be a good marketer and to be able to lead Phenix where it is right now?
I think one of the like probably character features, not so much as a skill, is trying not to be high level whenever it's possible. Because if you think, oh, it's so easy, like, easy peasy, people will buy into it so fast, I barely need to like click a few buttons. As a marketer, you're not gonna make it. So not being high level, trying to get to the root of the problem or the tech stack or the solution or the product, whatever, that is super important, especially today when like AI can basically help you gain like literally any skill within a few days. I feel like basic marketing fundamentals that used to matter a lot a few years ago are now like almost easily replaced with Claude. And I think this like human part, creativity part, and curiosity part, and also like literally getting into the stuff deeply and then trying to come up with a comprehensive message for it. I think that's something that companies will appreciate more, and that will ultimately be a reason why they will hire or not hire this marketer moving forward. I do not think there is something you can't learn as of today, you can't nail. You can do figure out automations, AI agents orchestration easily if you're not dumb. At the same time, if you don't have that like curiosity and desire to dig deep into it, you're not gonna make it. That's my take.
Well, I personally, I don't know how you feel, but I personally feel like I'm falling behind because I feel like there's so much tech coming up, and like I'm not good at like all the 1,000 platforms that are doing like video and scripting and editing and so on, and like going on like Twitter is still okay, right? But if you go on Instagram, like you don't want to be there. Everybody's an expert at everything. So I think
Yeah.
like if you felt like imposter syndrome by now, it's gonna get like a lot worse moving forward. So I think you need to keep it at some level and to become good at something and to, I don't know. I feel like it's a complicated situation to be in. Especially because I'm myself, I'm pushing a lot more on the video side of things, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get out of this like geolocation bubble, let's say. That's something I'm exploring right now, for example. And talking about content creators, I saw a bunch of questions about this on X as well when I told people that I'm gonna get you on the pod. You guys have put like a lot of budget into like small creators recently meaning like the last couple of months, for those of you that don't know. Instead of like using like the big KOL play. What made you do this, and what does it give you? That what does like the small content creators give you that you thought like a big KOL wouldn't be able to deliver?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this briefly, that everything human will be cherished even more very soon, maybe even today. Maybe it's already cherished more just because of this insane amount of AI slop, everything AI gen, you know? So I'm a big believer in people trust people, not logos, not, AI generated threads, etc., etc. So I would rather have 50 creators who genuinely understand what they are talking about, than 5 influencers tweeting something ChatGPT wrote like 5 minutes ago. And unfortunately, that's the state of the industry right now. I know like all the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 KOLs, I know their price tags, and I know the quality of the promotional content they're gonna deliver, because we've been there. That used to be a huge part of crypto team's strategies, let's say 5-6 years ago, and I do not think that's gonna be still working in the nearest time. So my bet is on smaller engaged creators who actually work their asses off. Alex, you wouldn't imagine, like, people are so excited about like this sunscreen swag box that we sent them. Obviously we also, support their work, because like, heads off, creating video content is a huge amount of work. I know myself, I started a podcast as well, you do lots of videos. It's a huge ton of work, and it needs like different skill set. But one, like, the most important part is ability to deliver the message to your audience in a way that doesn't sound like ChatGPT. So I think in that regards, niche creators are gonna win, and I already see that big players like Polymarket, OKX also are leaning, towards these strategies. I don't know if you saw that, but recently there was a battle between OKX and Binance because of the MiCA and European legislation stuff. So, like, TLDR, Binance didn't get the license, OKX got the license, and they had a huge creator campaign around that. So lots of like very niche actually creators got OKX handles on Twitter. I don't know how you call it, affiliate badges.
Yeah.
And they posted about it. I'm like an official OKX creator now. And I think that's kind of the new trend, because everyone realized that paying thousands or tens of thousands dollars for like literally one ChatGPT tweet doesn't buy you a thing anymore, especially if you're a startup.
Is that going to be something that you guys are going to invest a lot more budget into, or was that something like campaign specific?
No, we've been running this privacy backrooms, we call it content cabal internally, for a few months now. And I actually became friends with, some creators. We've seen each other at major events. They always support all our announcements and updates. And I feel like it's something that we will not give up, just because it works. And I get lots of compliments from my colleagues, marketers in the space, that you guys, Phenix is always on our timelines. Like, we see you engage with like really cool creators. And I think that's like one of the key things. We have really, really different people there in the cabal. We have more technical, like DevRel focused content creators. We have more like mainstream retail focused folks as well. We have vibe coders who like ship different apps with our tech stack and then create content around that. And I think that's like really interesting funnel that we figured out for ourselves, and it works.
What do you think is the key of like running such a campaign with this kind of content creators? Because I feel like a lot more companies have paid content creators, like even like niche KOLs, like if especially like a Dev Connect, like last year was like a huge. I feel like it was a huge budget spent on that. What do you think like is the success, or like what do you think is the key to success for such campaigns, and what do you think makes a KOL or like a content creator, like when you see their account, you say like, yeah, I want this person to work with me.
Oh, um, hmm. I think, um, yeah, being like authentic, being natural, not trying to sound smarter than you are. I mean, we all are trying to sound smarter than we are from time to time, but just so that it at least feels like authentic, right? So I think that's an important one for me. And also, um, I am now interested in, finding people who I can probably work with either long term or even like steal them to our company. I This was literally the way I had two marketing hires for Phoenix. I just spotted like good creators, and with like one of them, Radhika, I instantly realized she also knows something about marketing. There is no way this girl is just a content creator, And I reached out, and she did have like a Web2 marketing experience with Red Bull India, and everything clicked for me. I was like, she knows content, she knows marketing, she's also like, good looking on camera, she knows how to make fun and engaging videos. So, it's fate. And another girl, Shivani, she doesn't have like marketing background, but she's super, super good with content, like video content and vibe coding. So she actually like proactively built a few apps for us, as a community member. And then when we were exploring to hire a new like junior person to the marketing team, Raz and I were like, what were we thinking about Shivani? And we reached out, and we, decided that it's also a good way to improve and grow our team. So I think I've seen lots of examples like that with tier one companies, and ultimately I would try to look for at least like 1 to 5 people that you think you can build like long-term relationship with, and probably like utilize them in like some way as like part-time team members, or like onboard them to your team if they have the relevant skill set. I think that is the way to actually win very strong team members to your team, but also figure out like your own way to work with those content creators. You cannot copy paste someone else's strategy. You need to figure out your own, and it will take you a while until you figure out what kind of people you're looking for, what type of content works best for your product or company, and then once you nail these, how you can actually scale this now. So you have like 3 creators. How do you scale it for like 50 creators and make it work and have a strong ROI?
I think it's very important. Like I love the stories that you gave us, and if there are like more tips that you can give, I'm still waiting for them, because like I feel like that's what people were interested in, and I think like with all the hype that you guys have done, everybody's interested into working with Phoenix right now. So congrats to you.
Thank you. Yeah, if I am to share like one advice, it's just be proactive, and someone will notice it. Like someone you match with, will notice it, and you can either find a job or a good long-term opportunity. I think being proactive but not annoying, there is an important balance, because I get lots of DMs and like I tell people, no, we don't have an opportunity now, or like, sorry, you're not a good fit for our strategy at the moment, and they keep like, spamming. I think there should be a perfect balance between being proactive and also not too annoying, if that
Yeah,
helps.
fair enough. Before we wrap up, do you have an unpopular opinion in Web3? What about privacy as we
Oh,
keep talking about it?
yeah, let's come up with both. For privacy, I have a strong one. Nobody needs another private chain. I would tattoo it on my forehead. Nobody needs your goddamn privacy chain. We've got enough chains. Let's move on. Um, and for Web3 overall, unpopular opinion. I think, um, I think marketing wise, there is this like huge debate on whether creativity wins the budget, right, in terms of marketing. And I used to think that it does until I realized that you can actually be creative to some extent, and then there is still like market that's moving. There is mind share that can be bought or bought it, and from some perspectives there is nothing you can do with pure creativity. You need to have budget. And I think when I started talking to other teammates in the space, like other marketers, I talked to Kashvi recently from Boundless, and she said, no, you can only be creative with the budget. And I think that's something I truly resonate with now. You need to be creative, but you need to also have, skin in the game. You have to have substance and opportunity to compete with others. It's like fair market, and that's how it works. So I think creativity does not 100% beat the budget.
Yeah, I wish I said you are not right, but you are. So,
Yeah.
I was watching this like series the other night, and I think this girl was trying to raise some money, and she said like, I need money to make money. That's kind of how I feel right now many times, especially
Yeah.
when you're building or like when you're trying to do any type of campaigns or like marketing activities. But anyway, probably that's a conversation for another time. Angie, before we wrap up, where can people find you?
Um, oh, okay, I think I would distinguish between just like having a fun conversation. That's gonna be X. I reply to like literally any comment I get. I try to reply on DMs as well as much as I can. So X is for like fun convos, and then it's Angie MKT Mom, marketing mom. So you can easily find me there. And then for like any collaboration, proposals, anything BD kind of thing, that's going to be Telegram or email ng.phoenix.io. And then ng, wait, I do not remember my Telegram handle, but we will add it somewhere here.
I won't give
Yeah,
people like your Telegram handle, but I'll give like all the information like LinkedIn and your X in the description of this episode. So like anybody can just click on it. So that will be a lot
cool,
easier for them to find you.
cool.
Unless you want to give them your Telegram, like that's up to you now. Like I don't want to like interfere
It's
here.
not gonna get worse than it is now. Trust me, there is no way. And I just started the YouTube channel as well. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, because I have ADHD and I burned out. I burn out really fast. But for now, I'm super motivated to keep talking. So yeah, you can also check out the Pretty in Privacy podcast if you'd like.
Well, chatting is fun. And I hope you had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun having this conversation with you. Thank you so much for being with me today. The episode is gonna come out like really soon, so like keep an eye on it. And looking forward to seeing you again in real life.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm super grateful to you for being here, and also for finding my daughter's sneakers at the plane when we saw each other last time. That was valuable. Thank you so much.
I was about to say, I think that was like probably the most valuable thing would have helped you. Well, thank you, Angie, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to our Out of Ordinary podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to hear more content like this, then open up the podcast app and click on the follow or subscribe button. It takes less than 5 seconds and is the single best thing you can do to support the show and stay up to date to more marketing strategies that are being used in the Web3 space.